Hello, welcome back. I'm Kelly and I draw things, and it is a rainy afternoon, so I actually think it's going to be a rainy weekend, so I'm going to stay inside and work in my sketchbook. I would like to finish my sketchbook, and I'm going to take you along with me. So I started this in November of 2022, and it is the 3rd day of February 2023, so I've only been working in it for a few months. Some of it's notes, some of it's drawings, but I have 6 pages left. Front and back, it's about 12 drawings, give or take. And so I'm going to finish it over the weekend and take you along with me. So let's go. This is my workspace, and I have lots of friends this weekend, and they are here to inspire me and keep me company. I have a long story as to why they're actually here with me in my home away from home, but I collect rubber ducks, and so these are some that made the trek from Atlanta, Georgia to Savannah, Georgia. And they're lined up to stare at me while I work. So my very first page that I did for the weekend was a Pocky Titan. I keep a list on my phone of drawing ideas, and it is endless. I'll never get to all of them in all of my days, but Pocky Titan has been on there for years, like probably almost 10 years, and I just never got around to it. And I looked at it and I was like, today is the day. So I've also been eating Pocky more in the past couple of weeks, so maybe I was more inspired by recent events, but it felt like the right time. So I had a vision that's been developing, since I wrote it down for years and years. And I like this giant box of Pocky. And, oh, by the way, Pocky is like a snack that's made in Asia. Specifically, it's a Japanese company. And they're like little wafer cookie sticks dipped in different stuff. And these ones are the standard ones. They're dipped in chocolate. And I had this idea, because it's about a little bigger than your hand. It's not a super big box. And so I had this idea where it's coming over this ridge, but to show that it's giant, I needed something small for scale, like a person. And I was like, well, who would be standing out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of hanging out? And I decided a shepherd would be standing out in the middle of nowhere, hanging out with a sheep, doing what shepherds do. So I sketched it, inked it, and then went in and colored with a bunch of mixed media. I used some Posca markers, some colored pencils, some regular marker, and I think some watercolor too. So enjoy the rest of this drawing. Alright, so it's a little after, oh, it's almost 2. Okay, I thought it was only after 1. But I'm gonna make some lunch, I'm gonna do some laundry and take a break, and then kind of figure out my weekend plan, because I want to budget my time that I have enough time to complete all of them because now I have like full pages left. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 full pages left, and I have 2 more days in my weekend. So if I do, well, you know, it's front and back. So I guess 6 pages? That seems like a lot. 3 spreads seems more doable. And I have some ideas that are kind of big, so they could spread throughout the spread. So I think spreads are going to be my friend. But I'm going to go find some food and pick up where I left off later. Hey, so I just finished this guy. I thought I was going to do a spread, and then I ran out of the colors I wanted to use. So I just did 1 page, but I think it's really cute. I think that might be a cute inspiration for Patreon print for March, maybe. I'm really into it. I know I'll never be able to print that color, and that's probably why I like it so much. But for March, I'm gonna do a bonus sticker for my 1 year on Patreon celebration anniversary. So maybe something will happen, or not. I don't know. We'll see. But I skipped a page because I thought I was gonna do a spread, but I didn't. So I have to go back. So these pages are probably the three that I like the least. I was trying out some sticker ideas on the first one for the town that I'm staying in, that I've lived in for a little bit, and I didn't really like any of them, so I kind of just stopped. And then the others were I had ideas, but I was just kind of filling the page. I think I wore myself out putting so much time into that first one, and it was the end of the day. And I was getting to the point where I'm just filling a page to fill it. Not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes it can be really beneficial and you come up with things that you wouldn't normally expect. But in this case, I was just tired and blah, and it wasn't going well. So I decided to take a break and come back, just like wise Ursula says from Kiki's Delivery Service, where she's like, if you're kind of feeling, blah about art, take a break, go do something else and come back to it. So that's what I did. So I finished these pages up and I went and read Beastars for the rest of the evening. Good morning, it's the next day. I am really glad I stopped when I did, because I think my mind was subconsciously working on it while I was reading last evening. Yesterday evening, whatever. And I have some ideas. So I've got some spreads left and then one orphan page where I've done the other page in the spread already. And I'm going to do a brainstorm for this idea of, there we go. So this is my brainstorm page and some thumbnails and stuff. And there's an artist called Natalie Anderson, and she does a lot of risograph prints, which are beautiful, and I have one. I have the fall one that is on my wall in my studio. And she did a series of 4 dragons. It was the seasons. It was fall, winter, summer, spring, and I was I think doing 4 seasonal drawings about the same subject matter would be a good challenge, and I like that, and so I'm going to try it myself. And I was listening to Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran this morning while I was making pancakes, and it got me thinking about an adventurer who's completed his adventure and he's on his way home, coming towards what is familiar. And so I think I'm going to do a cat adventurer with some sort of adventure gear, whatever that looks like, and do him throughout the 4 seasons as he's kind of working his way back to wherever he came from. And then the last few pages, I'm going to do sketches for my comic strip that I'm going to be working on tomorrow to prep for February's updates. Okay, I have to talk about this grass that I drew because I think it's my favorite thing that I drew the entire weekend. I just love how the texture and the colors came out, and I haven't done mixed media in a while, so it was really pleasing to see something that I was experimenting with worked versus going, oh well, and having to just kind of like accept it because it's traditional media and I can't really undo it. But I was so pleased, and it's just like soft, textural grass. I'm super into it, and I don't know if I can replicate it, but I'm gonna try in the future. I'm very pleased with it. But let's talk about what's going on here for a second. So when I think of summer, I think of really like green teal skies and really vivid colors and grass. And so I did him kind of taking a little nap, hanging out. And I think it's a little reminiscent of My Neighbor Totoro when they're riding the bike and they take a little rest on the hill. And he's just at a resting point near some crossroads. And I added some little details in of a little house and a little sign thing, signpost, that's the word, and some strawberry plants. And I think it all came together really nicely. Hey, one down, 3 to go. So this is summer, which you can't see because of the lighting. Is it gonna like auto do it? Maybe? There we go. Ooh, ah. All right, so I'm hungry. I'm gonna go make some lunch, and then I'm gonna do the next 3. You'll come along with me. So see you in a bit. So I did fall after lunch, and I wanted all 4 of the images to be cropped differently, so I didn't have 4 of the exact same composition or zooming in, essentially. So I zoomed in on him so he's bigger in the composition overall, so it's different from summer. And I did the underdrawing in colored pencil and then used regular pencil on top of it. And he's standing in a wheat field looking at a map. Being from Kansas, I really love big open fields of corn and wheat and stuff, so it felt like a good vibe. Lots of orange, lots of yellow, and lots of layering of media of marker, colored pencil, and Posca pen. And then it was time for spring. I struggled with this one, coming up with a thumbnail. I was really stuck on the idea of rain, and then it just wasn't working, so I shifted, and I decided to do this side view where you can see into the water and into the land he's sitting on while he's fishing. Because for me, fishing happens in the spring for some reason. And then to really drive home the idea that it's spring, I end up turning the tree in the background pink, where it's like blooming, like a sakura tree or a cherry blossom tree. And I think that really helps drive home that it's spring and not just summer. So I would like to take a moment to thank my patrons for helping support my work and funding these videos. So if you want some more behind the scenes, some exclusive content, and early access to videos, go check out my Patreon. My link is in the description below. Hey, I finished 3 out of the 4. I just did spring. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure I'm as in love with it as I could be, but maybe I'll like it later. So I have 1 more to do. And then I have some sketch pages, and then I'll be all done. For winter, I wanted to start with an underdrawing in marker instead of colored pencil this time, and kind of build it up from there. And that worked really well until I forgot that I wanted a snowman, and I drew a tree through the snowman was going to be. So I pulled out my acrylic paint to fill it back in, and I actually really liked the texture. I ended up adding some more of it in there as well. But I haven't used acrylic paint in a very long time in my sketchbook. I'll use it for some other like crafty things, but I just forget how versatile it is. Like, it'll just cover up whatever mistake I have. So I think acrylic paint might be something I use more of in the future. Okay, I really want to make it snow in my spread, but I don't want to ruin my desk. So I'm gonna go outside with some water and some white acrylic, and we're gonna see how this goes. So experiment time, let's go. All right, so I'm outside. I have my paint, a little bit of water, a brush, and I've used a clip to secure this a little bit. Under the clip is white, so you won't even be able to tell if it shields it from a little bit of our snow. And let's see if this works. Okay, so this super unpracticed technique is I get a little bit of water on the brush with the white acrylic. Ideally, I would have brought a palette, but I didn't, so I'm just doing it on the side of my water cup. And then I use my finger to kind of flick the bristles back and forth, and they splatter paint onto the canvas, or in this case, Sketchbook. And it, I don't know if I had too much water, or not enough water, or not a big enough brush, or what, but it took me many rounds to get some like spray spackly texture on there. Eventually it all got on there, and it was very like fine white paint, and I ended up taking a paper towel and pressing it to it and pulling off the excess because it got pretty chunky. So that makes me kind of believe that maybe it was not enough water, but then it would have been translucent. So I don't have a good technique for this. I think if I did it again next time, I would pre-mix the paint in the water and then do some practice. But it's a sketchbook, it's made for practice, and I think it turned out okay. All right, that kind of worked. Not great, not bad. I'm pleased that I actually like all of them for different reasons. I think they're nice. I think summer's my favorite, but enjoy this footage of the 4 of them complete. And then it was time for my final spread of the sketchbook. I decided, since I spent so much time and I didn't want to have what occurred again the previous day of just like filling it with like poorly drawn stuff, so I just stuck to sketches. And these sketches and scripting and ideas and stuff are going specifically towards making comic strips for my webcomic called Kelly is Best. And they're autobiographical, slice of life comedy comic strips, usually 2 to 5 panels, somewhere in there, and they're based on real life events. So I sketched one out about an interaction with a student I had that was incredibly embarrassing, and then my love for garlic and disregard for recipe advice. So I'll put them up so you can look at them here as well and check them out. And if you like these, there's more comics on the Kelly is Best socials, which are available in the link in the description. Hello, I just finished my sketching, which takes a much shorter amount of time than drawing full images. So these are going to become part of my comics for my webcomic, Kelly's Best, for February. I try to do them a few at a time, otherwise I run out of time, it seems. But my back page is blank. I do that on purpose. I don't like doing stuff on the back page because if you look at the cover, it's just gonna like smear it all around and kind of destroy it anyway. And the front page, I just have like my name and how people can contact me if I lose it, which is my email address for my art business. So it's done. Ta-da! Cool. So now I have to start another one. I do it all over. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, you might also like this video, which is an artist vlog of a weekend in the life of an artist. Me. So enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.